Recent developments at training camp for the Washington Commanders shows me that there's a certain late round rookie who is poised to break out this season. Let's talk about it. I'm Josh Taylor with A to Z Sports Commanders, and I was in Ashburn yesterday, and there's one player that I'm impressed with from this rookie class that I think is poised to have a big role as the season goes on, and that is seventh round selection, the running back, Jacory Croskey-Merritt. This is someone I fell in love with when I watched the Shrine Bowl, and I was like, man, who is this guy? And I had to do some more homework and see more about his story, and he's just an awesome guy. But he can also do some things on the field that Washington really needs. In a running game that died off in the second half of the season last year with injuries to Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr., the Commanders need a running game to help out Jayden Daniels. And I'm not talking about just him running the ball like he had to do. Now, we've already seen some highlight plays from Croskey-Merritt in practice, and Dan Quinn has name-dropped him a ton. Of course, the media is asking Coach about certain things with Croskey-Merritt as well, trying to get those nuggets out of what really stands out when he's looking at Croskey-Merritt on the field. And he said, look, the one thing that I would say is one cut. That's how I would describe Croskey-Merritt, and it showed on the field. And as a matter of fact, they added pads for the first time this week, and the biggest play from that practice came from Croskey-Merritt and Tyler Owens. And Quinn said, this is a play that we looked at in practice afterwards, the next day when we're watching film and there's things we want to point out. That was the play. That was a good one. He said there's two things on that play. Croskey-Merritt cut left, and then he cut back right and went right up the middle of the line when he saw the opening, which is exactly what we need in that backfield. But then he said, look, I'm going to give Tyler Owens credit too, because it would have been a big play, but Tyler Owens was there as a blitzing safety, and he met him in the open field in the middle to stop the play from becoming an even bigger play, a big chunk play. But they were met with a thud, and it was loud at practice, and that was the play that stood out the most to Coach Quinn. So if you're getting your name talked about from Coach like Croskey-Merritt is, you're doing something right. But even without the pads, when I was at practice, I just noticed his cuts and his vision and just his elusiveness, his ability just to get skinny in those tight windows and create a big play. It stood out to me. I think that's something that Washington could really utilize in the offense this season. I mean, the running game died off in the second half. It was Jayden Daniels, and that's it. And Brian Robinson Jr. had some leg injuries, and Austin Eckler had his concussions. So obviously, a lot of it was out of their control. But the offensive line has gotten much better, especially in the inside and your two tackles as well. But you're going to see some more dependability from the offensive line and the blocking schemes, and guys like Josh Connelly Jr. able to move out in space and pull when they have to and get these east and west kind of runs out of Croskey-Merritt so he can show that speed and the elusiveness. So even if there is somebody there, he's going to make some guys miss. But I think it's a matter of not if, but when. When can this start to progress? Well, at practice on Tuesday, he got what I think was the first time he's been in there with the ones and a hurry-up drill with Jayden Daniels in the starting offense. So that stood out to me. Obviously, this comes after the padded practice. Things are progressing well. He's getting his name dropped. He's doing all the right things. And then you're rewarded with starting opportunities in practice. And, of course, there's a long ways to go until the season starts. We have joint practices. We have the preseason. But if he's going to keep stacking days like this, he's going to climb up that depth chart. So, like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's just going to be when is he going to get those starting snaps. But he's doing everything right now to where that's going to come sooner rather than later. And then when we get to the joint practices against the Patriots and the Ravens, you'll see those plays against another team. You're wearing pads, and you can actually see how the play develops. You're not just running around hitting your own teammates without pads on. You're getting that full vision of what a play would look like when he has the ball. And then, of course, his opportunities that he gets in preseason. Those are going to be monumental. That is when you get live reps, and you can go back and watch the tape and see what he did right. Did he make the right read? Is he making the right plays? And then if he does, what's he doing afterwards to make the play a bigger gain or even hopefully a home run touchdown that we need so bad? So I think Washington won the lottery with Jacory Croskey-Merritt, who couldn't play his last season in college due to ineligibility issues and concerns that the NCAA just wouldn't let him play for. It's a long story, but look, he was still at practices. He was still at team meetings, even though he couldn't be part of the team. He wanted to help his teammates out. And that's something that stood out throughout the process for Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. That is a Washington Commander, someone who cannot be part of the journey with his team in the season last year, but he still wanted to participate and help them out as much as possible. And now he gets his chance to go on the field and show what he can do and what he can add to the team here in Washington.